Hey guys, we're starting our first testimonial in English here at Connection Australia, and today we have the pleasure to interview our student Virginia from Barcelona. Hey Virginia, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm fine, thanks, and you?
I'm doing good, thank you. So Virginia, thank you for accepting doing the interview with us, first of all. And today we're going to talk a little bit more about your story here in Australia. And first of all, we would like to know, when did you arrive here in the country and what was your plan at that time?
If my memory doesn't fail me, I arrived here on the 28th of January 2012. Basically, I wanted my kids to study secondary school in Australia. Yeah. We were living in Barcelona at the time, and for several personal reasons, I thought that Australia was the right place for them. Yeah. So I picked up 2 kids and 3 pieces of luggage and came to Australia.
Let's go to Australia.
Yeah.
So you came here on a guardian visa to look after your kids while they were studying the primary and the high school, right?
Yes, correct. When we first arrived, they were both doing primary school, and then I obviously needed a visa to stay with them, so I chose the guardian visa. Well, I had to choose guardian visa because they were underage. Yeah. And they've done their primary and secondary school in here.
And how old were they at the time?
My son was 12 when we arrived. Well, 11 and a half, sorry. And my daughter was 9. So, yes.
It's been a while here in Australia.
Yes.
And how was the experience of your children studying primary and high school here in Australia?
Well, when they first arrived, it wasn't much of a shock because we had been here on the holidays several times, so we knew about Australia and
you already knew the country.
So it was nothing new. Language-wise, it was also alright because I had been speaking English to them since they were born. We come from a mixed family, so they didn't have any issues. Although I have to say that they have a lot of friends who came from different parts of the world. Arriving here, like a Russian girl arriving here when she was 9, she spoke 0 words of English, and now she speaks like a native Australian. So, it doesn't really matter whether your kids speak English or not when they first arrive, because if they arrive young, they just pick up so quickly.
And just to talk a little bit more about your story before Australia, how was your background? What was your background in Barcelona?
In terms of work?
Academic.
Oh, right.
Profession.
I've always had my own business in import-export. And when I was in Barcelona, I did this degree, translation interpreting. In Spanish, English, and Mandarin, Chinese Mandarin. And also did a master's in education. Specializing in teaching English to foreign kids, well, non-English speakers. And this is my background. And when I came to Australia, things were slightly different, but because I was not allowed to work with my guardian visa.
Yeah, and that's an important thing to talk to the people that are watching us. It is important to enhance that when you're on a guardian visa, you are not legally allowed to work in Australia. This is a specific visa that you need to have to look after your children while they're studying here and everything. And in this visa, you have to prove like a high financial support to the migration department, showing that you have the conditions to stay here in Australia and to support your stay here, right?
Correct. When I first applied for my kids visa and my guardian visa, we had to show financial proof that we could support ourselves because, as you well said, I couldn't work with my guardian visa. I was not allowed to work, not even during school hours. So it's 0 work. So that's something to bear in mind. And we had to have financial proof. 1, 2, every time, because they give you the visa for a certain amount of time. like, because they were in primary school, so they gave us the visa until they finished primary school. So when they started secondary school, we had to renew our visa. So that means we had to provide more financial, and so then they gave us for the whole secondary school, I think it was, can't remember. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
But you need to provide financial support. And that comes in the form of statements. If you have any property, if you have any income, whatever
support. The evidence for your stay here.
Yes.
Yeah. And how did you find out about the services that Connection Australia offers to students?
Do you want to hear a story?
Yeah.
One day I was in Cloudland.
Oh.
For those who don't know, it's a place for dancing salsa.
Yeah, here in Brisbane. Really famous among Latins. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And one of my Dominican friends, who, by the way, doesn't live in Australia, he was just visiting. He says, "Hey, I'm going to introduce you a girl. She's from Spain and Cuba. Her name is Sarah. And he introduced me to her. We started talking, and I told him my situation, that my guardian visa was finishing because my kids were, turning 18, and that I was kind of like thinking of going back home. I wasn't sure about what I was doing, and she said, "No, you're staying here, and I'm gonna tell you who to contact." And she said, "I've got this friend of mine, Eddie, who's really good. He's amazing. He's gonna help you, and he's gonna make sure that you stay here." And voila, I'm here.
And then she introduced you to Eddie, our general manager here at Connection Australia, and then it all started.
From day one that I called Eddie, and on top of that, Eddie and I have one friend in common, a very good friend in common, so that's a very small world. He's amazing. I was just telling Bia how lucky she is to work for him. He's an amazing, not just boss and professional, but an amazing person, which to me is a lot more important, because he put his heart into my situation. And obviously the girls are super efficient. It was a blessing, absolute blessing to come to Connection Australia. And thanks to this conversation in Cloudland, I'm here today. Otherwise, I would have probably just
went back
to Spain, I was not thinking of going to Spain. I was thinking more going to the Netherlands. Well, still
but
back
it
to
will
Europe.
be a different story.
A different story altogether. So sometimes, the destiny has, for me, my beliefs, the universe has something aligned for
Everything
you.
happens for a reason, right?
Absolutely.
So you meet the right people at the right time.
Exactly. Yes. And Eddie was definitely the light that I needed to see at the end of the tunnel, and I saw it. And after 1 year, I did my first student visa.
And that was the transition from the guardian visa to the student visa.
Yes, correct. Because my kids were over 18. Well, they were turning 18. And my first year I did a certificate 3 in tourism, which was very valuable because I'm a traveler myself, and I thought it was really interesting to learn all these things about travels and how the industry, the tourism industry works, because one thing is to travel and the other thing is to see what happens behind the scenes. So it was very interesting. Once I finished that, I had to renew my visa again, which was a bit like, are they going to give it to me? It was a bit scary. And now
will it be granted?
Yes, I know, because with this time that we are facing, it's a bit scary to go back to Europe now.
For sure.
So they've granted it to me just maybe a month ago, maybe less than that.
Yeah, I think it was less.
3 weeks, 2 weeks, I can't remember. Anyway, I just remember Eddie calling me, "You got your visa," and I was so happy. And I'm studying certificate 4 in business leadership, and then next year I'm going to do a diploma in business. So,
and how has been the experience of studying here in Australia? You came here on a totally different visa, Guardian, and you had your like limitations and everything, and now you're on a student visa where you are now legally allowed to work here in Australia 20 hours per week.
Yes.
Like during like you have to meet some requirements as well, like
Yeah.
any other kind of visa. But now you are you can study, you can improve your like your background and everything. How has been that experience here in Australia?
Right. It's been interesting because I would have never studied tourism.
Yeah.
It was never in my scope of interest. My only interest was to travel.
Yeah.
Forget about how it works. I don't care.
Yeah.
But because I was given, these choices like study these and that, the courses, I thought the most interesting for me was tourism.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting to try, to study things that you wouldn't consider.
Yeah.
Business is another thing. I never thought I'd study business because I had my own business all
You
my
already
life.
knew.
Yeah, but this gives me a different, fresh approach to the way I do business. So it's also, really, really valuable. In my class, I have people from different parts of the world, and that also is really interesting because it gives me an awareness of how people do things in different parts of the world. Even though I've traveled extensively and I lived in different countries,
Yeah.
and that I already have that sort of experience. But for example, I didn't have any experience with Korea, and they tell you how they manage in Korea, how they do things. So it's really nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, the experience it's good as well because I'm allowed to work, and that's
Exactly.
amazing.
Yeah, that's really nice. And Virginia, what made you choose Connection Australia? Because we don't speak Spanish, which is your first language, your native language, and we all know that sometimes people choose an agency because I wanna speak in Portuguese because it's easier for me, or I want to speak in Spanish because it's easier for me, or something like this. We know that this is more comfortable for most of the people. But what was the main reason that you chose, like, no, I want to do this with Connection Australia because I'm feeling more comfortable with them, or something like this?
To me, language is a barrier only if you want it to be a barrier.
Yeah.
To me, the most important thing is not how I communicate, but what's behind the team. And to me, the big heart that Eddie has was the biggest thing that drew me to do this with you guys, because I knew he was very dedicated. He's a very dedicated person. When he was filling my application, the way he pays attention to detail is like, wow, man, it's so
every little
detail.
word.
Yeah, so he makes sure that everything is perfect.
Yeah.
So there's no room for mistake. So that's like, you can't pay. Yeah, that's so invaluable, So, not invaluable. That's so valuable. Like, sorry. It's so you can't buy it with money somehow because you ask people to do your visa and you don't know what goes behind the scenes.
Exactly.
But with him, because he was doing it in front of me, I could see all the procedure and how meticulous he was with all what he was doing.
Yeah.
So again, to me, the attitude and the way of working and his big heart was like what
made you choose?
Yeah, and I'd do it again and again. And I definitely recommend people to approach like a company that has a soul rather than just workers.
Yeah.
And that's really important, I think.
And that's really nice to mention because we always say our slogan is we are more than an agency, we are a family.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's the thing that we want to show the people, like to show that we are more than just like, oh, come here and do your visa and that's it. No, we can help you in many other aspects of your life as well, and we're here to help you guys, like doing to conquer your dreams, to do everything you want to do. And on the other side of the world, it's already really hard to be away from your home country sometimes, and we know this is a really hard time sometimes. But thank you for your words as well.
Thank you very much. And I'd just like to add that once you deal with Eddie instead of just being the agent who managed your visa. He becomes a friend.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Much more than just.
Oh yeah. He and his wife have become like part of our friends circle. So
that's really nice. That's really nice. And also, Virginia, we would like to know what are your recommendations or tips to give to the people that are interested in coming to Australia and doing an exchange program or something like this. What would you recommend to the people?
Well, the most important thing I think is to come with an open mind, and the way they do things is also very different. Do not judge, just accept. You know, there are there's good and bad everywhere. Just, you know, accept the bad and take advantage of the good. Be open-minded to doing whatever, to trying different experiences, to learn as much as you can, to do the most out of it, to make the most out of it. Correct my English, yeah? I was gonna say something else to do, yeah, right. And just understand that Australia is a very new country with a lot of nationalities. It's a melting pot. That's not to say that racism is inexistent.
Yeah.
Like everywhere there is racism, but people are super friendly, super friendly, very relaxed and laid back.
Yeah.
And if you get to know the real Australians, they're really, really nice people.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, recommendation in a nutshell is be open-minded.
Open-minded, yeah. And everything will work out.
Yes.
Yeah.
One way or another, you know, like things work out. Is like what's for you, it's definitely going to be there for you no matter what. And what's not for you, no matter how much you keep on pushing it, it's not going to be for you. So let it be. Just accept what comes and let go of what's not for you.
Thank you, Virginia. So we're very happy here to tell your story here at Connection Australia. We appreciate one more time you taking your time and coming here doing this interview with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
On our first interview in English as well.
Yeah. I'm sorry I can't do it in Portuguese. My Portuguese is
I'm sorry I can do it in Spanish.
Yeah. I can only say obrigada for everything that you guys have done for me.
Thank you.
And for my family. So like I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. So
thank you very much. We really appreciate, and we wish you all the best here in Australia, and thank you very much once again.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So that's it, guys. We hope you enjoyed this interview, and see you next time. See ya. Bye.